Our friend Spencer Hall from SB Nation and Every Day Should Be Saturday joins us once again, and I believe this is a first in the history of the program, perhaps in the history of all televised broadcasts. You rep the Mule Riders.
That's right. Shouts out to Southern Arkansas. You're not going to make the playoff this year or any other year, but you do have the coolest mascot I've ever heard of, the Mule Riders, so that's got to count for something.
Oh, it does. It absolutely does. They won't be in the playoff. And my man Stanford Steve told me about a prop bet in Vegas. You got to lay 280 to win 100, but here's the teams you get: Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, Washington, and Oklahoma. I said, I'll take that 5. You could get the field, though, if you'd like. Which would you go with, those 5 or the field?
I'm going to take the field because I'm a big believer in misfortune, random disasters, and chaos. And as bankable as college football can be, let's face it, there's probably only 15 to 20 teams who can really even make the playoff or think about it, and probably only 10 who can win it. I think that if you look at that group that you're giving me, Oklahoma lost Baker Mayfield, and he's just an exceptional talent who meant so much to that offense that I'd automatically take them out and say 2 losses doesn't sound crazy. That can take you out of this playoff, by the way. 2 losses. So I'm going to take the field because there's just so much that can go wrong. I know we're all optimistic because it's going into like week 1 and everyone's feeling great, and that's awesome. That's not how you're going to feel come November.
I agree, and outside of the chaos theory and boll weevils and feast, famine and all the other sort of disasters that could set this thing sideways, is there a team that you think is the greatest threat to that group of 5? Any one team you'd put above the rest of the field?
I think if I had to take somebody from outside that group, there's a bunch of ifs. If Auburn has something like a bell cow running back to replace the production of Kerryon Johnson, then I would say that, yeah, you could take them. I think they're more than a competent bet for somebody to make. I think that if Florida State does better than you think they could do in year 1 under Willie Taggart, because it's not exactly a rebuild there, right?
No.
This isn't a bold bet, right?
No.
I'm not picking the hipster pick Florida State. In any given year, Florida State can just jump up and bite you because they're just that talented and just that deep. I don't think that there is anyone that's obvious. I think there's a lot of teams that you can say that's plausible. For instance, if I told you that Michigan State played 12 of the most brutal games in the history of college football and was undefeated at the end of the season, would that seem so far-fetched? It wouldn't, because I've seen them come close before. So I don't think there are many bets that are outrageous here. There's just a bunch of B-plus bets that if certain things happen, they could make the playoff.
Are you bored yet with the overarching Clemson-Alabama storyline?
I'm a little bored with it, but I'm also at peace with it because this is how things go in this sport. There are cycles where you see Team A and Team B Part 1, Team A and Team B Part 2. If you like the Fast and Furious franchise, you'll love college football because it's not like we just get sequels and then trilogies.
Right.
Sometimes you'll get into the tetralogy, sometimes you'll get spin-offs, sometimes you'll get Part 8, right? And we didn't used to complain about this, right? I don't remember any complaints. Nebraska and Miami played 500 times between 1982 and 1993. I don't know if that's an exact number, and research do not check me.
Give or take.
But we didn't complain about any of those, right? We're very spoiled in that we have so much variety and so much access to so many games that when somebody plays more than 2, 3, or 4 times in important stakes kind of games, that we get bored of it. I think that's an attention span thing. Right now, Clemson and Alabama, the talent on the field alone merits watching.
Always great to be in your company. Read them on SB Nation and at Every Day Should Be Saturday as well. And I'm certain that we will come calling again before too long.
Thank you, Scott.